everyone, it's Carol here. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me today. So because I wasn't about much last year through one thing and another, I have got an awful lot of catching up to do. I need a planner to be able to work out what projects I'm going to be working on each month or each week, whatever. So what I decided to do was to create a planner, a digital planner that I can then make my own to suit my own needs. Now, there is the flexibility within this for you to create your own version, but for me, it needs to be a work type planner. The first thing that I'm going to show you is this perpetual calendar. Now, you get a perpetual calendar and a set of images, or you get the perpetual calendar and another set of images, but I'll come to showing you the images in a little while. Now, a lot of people have been asking me where are my digitals on my Etsy store that I produced previously. The thing is that I took a lot of them down because I decided to rework on them and rehash them a little bit. And some of them are going to be going on my new Ko-fi site on the shop side of things, but you can also go there and donate and purchase me a coffee if you so wish. But there is a shop on there too, and I will put the link in the description box down below so that you will be able to find your way there and then be able to purchase these digitals. There is also going to be some freebie digitals on there too, and I will be doing videos for some of those things in the near future as well. Okay, so let's get down to the digital kit itself. So as I say, this is a perpetual calendar, so it's not just purely for this year, it's one that you can use any year. All right, so there's correct myself there, there's 2 pages of just blank calendar pages. All right, so we've got one that goes up to 31 days of the month, one that goes up to 28 days of the month, and one that goes up to 30 days of the month. So you will need to print off however many you need for each of the months of the year. But I've left this one plain so that you can decorate it as you want, a more modern design, so that the background is now covered with this modern green design. And again, you've got 31 days, 30 days, and 28 days. And as you can also see, I've got this notes section as well at the bottom, so it means that you can cut that out and use that separately from this part, or you could cut out the whole thing and add that to your page. Then there's a slightly more vintage design, so it's got this lovely delicate leaf pattern in the background, which will go lovely with tea and coffee dyed papers. And again, 31 days, 30 days, and 28 days. And then the next one has got these beautiful leaves in the background. 31 days, 30 days, see a bit of a pattern going on here, and 28 days. And then we've got this really pretty one which has got leaves and berries in the background in pinks and jadey greens. And again, the three stages of 31, 30 and 28. I've done a vintage French ladies in the garden version. You've got 4 separate cards on each page depicting each month of the year. So they're very, very pretty. So those are the months of the year. And then you also get a page with some words on. So again, you can choose what type of journal or planner it is that you want to make. And then there's a background paper as well that you can utilise together with the images. All right, so set number 1 will be that digital kit plus the perpetual calendar. All right, the second one that you can get is the perpetual calendar plus these ladies here, these ladies and gentlemen's. And again, we've got journaling cards or whatever you wish to use them for, pockets or pictures on the front of envelopes, again covering the months of the year. So just split these pages up, there we go. And again, they've got a slightly more vintage feel to them. And again, we've got the words and we've got the years and we've got the months here. So a slightly different style of lettering to hopefully complement the images. And then a different background page in these gorgeous sort of mustard yellows, okay? And I'm going to use one of these Hobbycraft sketchbooks, and they come as a pack of 3. I've already started creating with the one that I'm going to be using. So this is a blank one to show you. And it has just got blank pages in there of a really nice quality paper. Now these are just stapled in, and I'm going to be removing the staples and stitching my pages in place. But I'll come to that a bit later on. I'm also going to be using some Cosmic Shimmer and some Tattered Angels Glitter Mist. So these are the 3 colours that I'm going to be using in mine. So this one is, where's the name of them? Ah, there we go. So this one's Ancient Copper. This one is Chic Moss. And this one is Red Velvet. And I'll also be using one of these Distress Stains by Mr. Tim. So I think I decided to use old paper, but also antique linen could have worked as well. But I think I've used old paper in the one that I'm going to be showing you. Okay, I've already prepped most of my pages in here, but I've left the first few sort of blank so that you can see what it is that I'm going to do. And I've got a scrap piece of paper and I've got 2 pieces of deli sheets. So I am using the old paper Distress Stain. So just to make sure, because it's got this sponge top on it, I'm just going to keep dabbing it as well as pushing on the side of the bottle to make sure that the ink is flowing out of the sponge quite easily. And then I'm just going to slip a piece of paper under there, a piece of the deli paper in there, and then I'm just going to run this all the way over. Okay, on to the next stage now. So these are my dry pages, and as I say, I'm going to use these ink sprays and mists. So first thing I need to do is the mica that's collected at the bottom of the bottle. I need to give it a good tap to shake it up to mix it with the liquid. Okay, so get that bit done. This one hasn't got any mica spraying, so I don't need to do that, and I need to just tap this Red Velvet one as well to mix that mica in with the liquid. Okay, I have no particular order that I'm going to spray these, and I've also got a piece of kitchen roll so that I can just dab off the excess of those as well. So all I'm going to do is just a couple of quick squirts. So I've got them sat in my little homemade splat box, and I'm just going to sort of spritz once on each page and then maybe one in the middle. The dark green that I've used, I chose it because of the images that I'm going to be using, and it just helps to give life to this, and it tones down this old paper background. Now you don't have to ink your pages up, but I wanted to because I just wanted to give the pages a little bit of life. And then a couple of, now this comes out really like a fine mist, so it kind of goes all over, whereas the others you saw sort of splattered in an area, whereas this fine mist from Tattered Angels kind of covers the whole thing. And then I'm just going to dab it with the kitchen roll to just take off some of this excess. And you can get quite dirty hands with this, so if you're a bit particular about your hands not getting too mucky, you might want to wear some gloves. All right, and that's all there is to it. I just need that little bit of background colour to just break up the monotony of the blankness of the page originally, and then the monotony of the all over colour that I put on it. So go to these next 2 pages, and I'm going to do the same again, as I say, in no particular order. And just a little splat here and a little splat there. And then, as I say, with this one, a bit of a fine mist going all over. And then a little bit of the gold. Just let the page absorb those colours a little bit. And then dab it with the kitchen roll to take off the excess. And taking off the excess means that it's making these colours now a little bit more subtle. Okay, and this I'll be keeping as well. And then that front page. And then that's all my pages then covered in ink. I'm not worried about it getting on that cover because I could soon cover that over. And as I say, I chose these colours because they went really nicely with the images that I'm going to be using. Okay, and that's all there is to it. So I'm just going to leave these to dry again. Probably leave them overnight because the paper itself is quite flimsy because of all the wet ink that's on there. But I'll show you some of the other pages that I've done previously. So as you can see, they all have come out completely different, which is fine, but they do all blend together because it's using similar colours right the way throughout. I'm going to go and get the next part ready now whilst I leave this to dry overnight, so I'll see you in a second. Whilst I've been waiting for my book pages to dry, I've been doing a little bit of prep work. So first things first, I got 12 of these, the Tim Holtz, what do they call these? I forgot what it's called. Stitched slots. There you go. So the Tim Holtz stitched slots, number 662697. So I've got 12 of those cut out and ready. And then I got some cards. I got some spare cards. Put them like that there. Got some spare card. And I cut those out so that they will fit in the slot. Now at the moment, this one doesn't, because I'm going to decorate it up a little bit. So I've got some pinking shears, and these are on my Amazon affiliate link in the little shop that I've got there. And then I just cut the top off, and then if you have a look up close, can you see I've got this little funny lip bit there? So I just trimmed that bit off, and then I've got the whole pattern of the pinking shears going right the way across the page. So because I've trimmed it down somewhat, it will now fit in those slots. In fact, I'm just going to take a little bit off the edge there as well. So now that will fit in the slot quite easily. And then I just took my ink and just inked up that top edge. So it means that when these are all fitted in that slot die, they will stagger on top of each other. And the inked edges just give the card that little bit of definition from one card to the next. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to write the projects that I want to do on YouTube or on my Facebook group or via a workshop. So I'll write the projects on here, but it means that once they're slotted in place, if I don't manage to get that project done that particular month for whatever reason, then I can take that out and put it in the next month's slot, so I can move it about to whatever suits me best. So I've prepped those. I need to do a few more of those though. The other thing that I prepped was all my calendars. So I did this list because, you know, I'm a bit hopeless in that I can't remember that verse of 30 days hath September. Yeah, whatever. So I wrote down all the months of the year there and how many days were in each month. So I could see that for 28 days, which is February, I only needed 1. For 30 days, I need 4. And for 31 days, I need 7 of them. I also wrote on this list that the first of the month for February is Wednesday, March is Wednesday, Saturday for April, and so on and so forth. And so I cut out 1 for 28 days, I cut out 4 for 30 days, and I cut out 7 for 31 days, and then obviously these were at the bottom, so I've cut each one of those out individually as well. So I might ink up around the edges, I might just leave them as they are. So those are 2 things that I prepped. The third thing that I prepped was my journaling cards. Now, what I'm actually going to do, if I just show you in my book, I'm going to have my book this way on. So I'm not having it portrait, I'm having it landscape, so that I can flick it up and then I've got, put it in shot, so then I've got this available to see this way. But it meant that if I just put that card just directly onto the page for January, it means that if I want to add something like an envelope and slot an envelope underneath there, if I glue it at the top and the bottom, there's just not quite enough room for that to be able to slip in really easily. So I found that if I added the background paper and stuck that top and bottom, it now widens the width of that pocket and it looks prettier, it's a bit more decorative, so it's a bit more practical. Okay, so background paper, and basically let's just rip off this top edge here. So that will fit on there like that. So I'm going to ink up my edges first. Then I've got these little mini paper clips, and they're quite tight, these. I want to and I found that I'm going to have to push the inside of it backwards just a little bit, just to try and loosen that metal piece up a little, because as I say, it is quite tight. I think I did the little bit on the back here and the big bit on the front. Okay. Ooh, wrong edge. So I had it the opposite side to where the month was. There we go. So that's février, janvier. How about this side? Okay. Flip it over. Put a bit of glue at the top. And at the bottom. And I'm going to glue that in place. So I'm going to try and get an equal border all the way around. So it's the same on all four sides. So I've glued just top and bottom. So it means now that this is also open. So it means that I can tuck something underneath there too. And then rip off this bottom edge. And flip that over. Top. Bottom. And I'll stick that on there too. And I've got this edge then to rip off. And then ink up around the edge of that. I've just got January left to do, which I won't do in front of you because I think that'll be pretty boring. So I've got all the rest of the months all done and dusted. So make sure that they're in order. Yeah. So that's them all done. January to finish. I've got my cards and my slots. And I've got my calendar pages. So I've now got all of this lot ready to go into my book. So I'll show you in the next video how I'm going to put all of this lot together. Thanks ever so much for joining me. Please, if you've enjoyed the video, got a bit of inspiration from it, please hit that like button. And if you care to subscribe, so then you'll get the notifications if you press that bell as well. Of when I'm putting up new videos. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye for now.